Yuyutsu in the Hindu epic Mahabharata was the son of Dhritarashtra and the only son of Dhritarashtra who survived the Kurukshetra war and lived a full life. He is celebrated as a mortal warrior who chose the path of righteousness in spite of being born in circumstances that predisposed him to evil. He forwent his family bonds in order to side with dharma, just like Vibhishana from Ramayana. To know the full story of Vibhishana, watch the video linked in the comments below. In the order of their birth, Yuyutsu was the second oldest among the Kaurava born after Duryodhana. However, Yuyutsu was not one among the 100 sons born to Gandhari. Vyas's Sanskrit Mahabharata narrates that Yuyutsu was born to Dhritarashtra's Vaishya wife. No name of the woman is mentioned in the text. However, some unknown sources suggest that his mother's name was Sughada and that she was the maid of Gandhari. As Gandhari's pregnancy lasted for over 2 years and there were many complications, Dhritarashtra was extremely frustrated, especially because Kunti had already given birth to Yudhishthira. To quickly beget a son, Dhritarashtra married a Vaishya woman. She then gave birth to Yuyutsu right after Duryodhana's birth. Yuyutsu was the paternal half-sibling to Gandhari's children, Duryodhana and the rest of the 99 Kaurava brothers and their sister Dushala. In the Mahabharata, Vyas refers to Yuyutsu as the man of great energy and prowess begotten upon a Vaishya woman. He is often referred as the intelligent one amongst the Kauravas and also an exceptional charioteer. While not much is known about his early life, it is popularly known that unlike his stepbrothers, Yuyutsu was on the favorable terms with the Pandavas. Since his childhood, Yuyutsu was neglected and sidelined by Duryodhana and the other Kauravas. Hence, when the Pandavas arrived at Hastinapur, he befriended them. He became especially close to Bhima. After the failure of the plan to kill Bhima in the Pramankoti incident, Duryodhana was extremely angry. Once, Duryodhana mixed a poison that was very deadly in the food of Bhima. But Yuyutsu, moved by his friendship with the Pandavas, informed them of this, saving Bhima's life. He often warned them about Duryodhana's schemes and wanted their well-being. Though this never stopped Duryodhana, Karna and Shakuni, who never gave up their wicked ideas to accomplish the death of the Pandavas. The chapter 9 of Drona Parva mentions that Dhritarashtra appointed Yuyutsu as the Viceroy of the Varnavat region. Once, a coalition of powerful kings attacked Varnavrata. Yuyutsu resisted them and defended the kingdom for 6 months straight. During all this time, Duryodhana did not send him any help. Soon after 6 months, the defeated kings gave up and left. Before the battle of Kurukshetra war between the Pandavas and the Kauravas, Yuyutsu switched sides with the Pandava camp. Yudhishthira, the leader of the Pandavas, had announced that anyone who wishes to change sides could do so before the war began. Yuyutsu saved the life of Bhima by informing the Pandavas about Duryodhana's plans to poison water. He fought on the side of the Pandavas and one of the 11 warriors to have survived the war. One of the notable encounters he had during the war is with Kripacharya, who was the guru of both the Pandavas and the Kauravas. On the 7th day of the war, Yuyutsu and Kripacharya engaged in a sword fight and Kripacharya wounds Yuyutsu. However, Yuyutsu survives the encounter and continues to fight on the side of the Pandavas. Uluka was the son of the main antagonist Shakuni. He was said to have fought on the side of the Kauravas during the Kurukshetra war. Yuyutsu fought against Uluka on the 16th day of the war. Yuyutsu is said to have wounded Uluka but was unable to kill him as Uluka fled from the battle, saving his life. While Yuyutsu and Vikarna were the only 2 righteous sons from the Kaurava side and both disagreed with Duryodhana's evil plans, Vikarna stayed loyal to the family and died in the war. Vikarna ultimately perishes in the war, while Yuyutsu survives and goes on to have notable encounters with other warriors. The outcome of the Mahabharata war was the victory of the Pandavas and the death of most of the Kauravas. The Pandavas emerged victorious and established their rule over the kingdom of Hastinapur. Yudhishthira, the eldest Pandava, became the king of Hastinapur and ruled justly. The only surviving member of the Kaurava side were a few warriors including Ashwathama, Kripacharya, Kritavarma, and the queen Gandhari and her husband Dhritarashtra. The war resulted in the death of many great warriors and the destruction of an entire generation. It also marked the end of Kuru dynasty and the beginning of a new era in ancient Indian history. When Yuyutsu returned from the war, he described the war to Vidur. He also helped the Pandavas rule Hastinapur after the Mahabharata war. He was the only Kaurava left to take care of the aging Dhritarashtra and Gandhari. At a later time, when Muni Vyasa suggested that the Pandavas renounce everything and move to the Himalayas, Yudhishthira decided to bring his 36 years of rule to an end and crowned Parikshit, the son of Abhimanyu and Uttara, as the emperor to the throne. They handed over the crown to the young prince Parikshit and asked him to manage the kingdom under the supervision and guidance of Yuyutsu. Yuyutsu's death is not specifically mentioned in the original Mahabharata epic, so we assume that Yuyutsu eventually passed away peacefully. However, some folk tales provide a more dramatic end to his story. After the war, Gandhari, unable to control her grief and anger, blamed the Pandavas for the death of so many people in the battle. She expressed her desire to see the Pandavas, with the intention of destroying them with her fiery gaze. Krishna, suspecting her true intentions, asked Sahadev for clarification, and upon learning of her plan, he instructed Yuyutsu to remove the cover from Gandhari's eyes. However, as soon as he did so, Gandhari's gaze reduced him to ashes. Krishna and Vidur later scolded Gandhari for killing her only surviving son and reminded her that if Yudhishthira were to perish, dharma would also be lost. They asked her to cover her eyes again, and a remorseful Gandhari complied without an argument. This story is highly questionable and is often considered to be a tale of one's imagination, as it contradicts some of the other events mentioned in the original Mahabharata, like the presence of Yuyutsu to help Parikshit rule the kingdom. Yuyutsu's story can be seen as a reminder that one should always stand up against injustice and oppression, even if it means going against one's own family. It also shows that it's possible to change and make amends for the past mistakes. One can learn from Yuyutsu the importance of making difficult and unpopular choices when it is necessary to stand up for what is right.